book, a collection of visuals gathered intuitively during this initial phase helps us to define what we reject, what we don't want to pursue. As an example of a project that is extremely informed by the DNA of both place and product, I would like to show our work for Giovanni, the Greek yogurt company that you might recognize from the supermarket shelf. We work with them as architect and design agency for their retail venture called Giovanni Cafe. The first one was done in Soho, New York, opened probably 4 years ago. Since it's a concept cafe that is basically a case study that helps them work out their menu and get ready for a nationwide rollout that has just started actually. But as such, there were several phases in the construction of that cafe, and it was brought to life really as a personal project of founder Hamdi Ulikaya and his passion for healthy food. Anyone who has seen maybe the Fast Company magazine this month, he's on the cover as an immigrant billionaire. So very successful business, but hugely dedicated to quality and bringing better food to America. So Giovanni's mission for the cafe is to foster sustainable, balanced lifestyle through wholesome Mediterranean cuisine and the ritual of enjoying it. We imagine the cafe as an extension of this lifestyle and its culture, and of lingering over food and drink and conversation, blurring the demarcation of the public and private and engaging the building envelope. The cafe's glass facade is structured to lead in and out along Queen Street and West Broadway, creating base for casual bench seating inside and outdoors. Connecting the interior to the exterior world in this way, the cafe engages with public space and embraces street life while also providing a respite from the busy Soho intersection. So in this slide you see, so this is where we started. That was there, the SWAT shop that was doing construction, and that's what we brought back. The central idea was to return to roots, not just to honest ingredients and building materials, but also to the building's architecture. So we are here in the Soho cast iron district, which is landmark, very complicated to do anything there really. We approached the storefront with a nearly archaeological process of restoration. It was complicated because of the landmark status, and there were years and layers of disconfiguration. So piece by piece, we recovered the original structure of that corner. It included cast iron columns, brick piers, etc., which we all exposed and then wrapped with a glass envelope that exactly created this openness and blurred this private public situation on this corner. Using also materials from that area, from this neighborhood, such as the Portland steel, helped really tying this back in with other buildings. Not exactly this one. This one has been sadly really destroyed, and well, there's an Aesop store next door now. They actually did a good job on trying to bring that back along these lines. Engaged as architect and creative director for Giovanni, and tasked with designing the whole environment, including the graphics, all the way to serving pieces and staff outfits. We drew inspiration from the pastoral origins of the yogurt, and reinterpreted the barn in a contemporary way. Austere but warm and flooded with natural light, rustic but modern. Drawing on the constrained palette of elemental and reclaimed materials, such as local redwood and copper concrete corian, and put together with minimalist precision, following a rigorous system of alignment. The cafe feels authentic, grounded, and made to last. Alignment. Fitting elements within their environment. The desire for alignment is a personal passion of mine. It informs the entire body of our work at the studio. For each project, whether it's architecture, graphics, or drawing, we establish a hierarchy of spatial relationships that are expressed in the grid line system, organizing the horizontal plane, and in a data line system, organizing the vertical space. Alignment brings a natural equilibrium to things and the space as a whole. On an emotional level, I find an aligned environment to be soothing. It doesn't distract the eye and it enables the mind to wander. To illustrate how the concept of alignment plays out in our work, I would like to show you a residential project we completed last year in Bel Air on Mulholland Drive. It was the restoration expansion of the Ward House, a landmark Mulholland Drive residence, and we doubled the living space while emphasizing thoughtful proportions and honoring critical alignments. On the left, you see actually the original photograph of that building taken in 1958 by Julia Schulman. On the right, you see from the connecting corridor back to the original house. True to the scale and simplicity of the original structure, the annex is carefully sited in the hillside. It was paramount to preserve the integrity of the historic house and to maintain important sidelines. Connected only via the concrete bridge, a catalog library, that's what you see on the right side. It meets the second floor of the Walker House at natural grade. With its top cantilever above the site, the annex footprint remains contained and distinct from the old house. Both commanding and discreet, maximizing the flow of light and air, and pushing the concept of indoor-outdoor living, the annex is airborne over the property and open to its extensive views. In volume, the annex adds bedrooms, a pool deck, and a courtyard. In plan, it consciously echoes the compartmentalized ground floor and the open second floor layout of the Ward House. While employing 21st century building technology to achieve a distinctly contemporary architectural solution, the new construction takes cues from the historic house, honoring the case study philosophy of economy, in which the skin of the building derives from its structure and of fewer materials thoughtfully applied in context. So the lower level walls are exposed cast-in-place concrete, while the cantilever section is a steel frame with cement work paneling, and the interior is paneled with ash, all the seams coordinated. Features like custom-formed concrete built to resemble the original house cladding and embed its memory, create an aesthetic that links past to future, and a logic consequently employed throughout. Logic, the process of thinking within a set of framework. With the point of view as a result of the consideration of scale, context, and alignment, we can create a system that enables us to make informed decisions at any crossroads of the design process that are not random, instead interconnected and linked, and following the same logic. I believe the consistency in formal and functional language achieved through this method renders a timeless quality to a project. The presence of a strong conceptual framework was key in the design for In Situ at SF MoMA, conceived as an exhibition restaurant within the newly opened San Francisco Museum of Modern Art. In Situ brings together a revolving collection of culinary influences, innovators of our time, with the aim to make their work accessible to a greater engagement. This collaborative project reimagines the traditional model of a restaurant as a place of cultivating an international community of stimulating discussion within and beyond the food industry and the notion of cooking as culture. As creative director and design agency in the third engagement with Chef Corey Lee, we envisioned an identity concept that would express Lee's desire to break with the creating paradigm of museum cafes and restaurants and offer instead an a la carte menu appealing to loyal locals as well as visitors passing through. The heart of this project is a master collection of recipes contributed by 80 chefs from around the world. So we wanted to express this global approach by the form of the menu alone, and shows the format of a map that then has also these restaurants that are featured that they mapped on this map. So you can basically eat, I don't know if this is clear if you've heard about this restaurant, but basically you can eat an originally recreated dish of Noma, Denmark, in San Francisco. Or you could eat an original dish from a restaurant in Paris or one in Hong Kong, etc. So it's basically the recreation of original dishes, and by bringing them together in the place In Situ, it becomes, a new menu again. It's basically the idea is a master collection of food in a similar way how a museum has a master collection of art. So his curatorial gesture of selecting chefs is matched by the guarantee that essence of each recipe will be respected and preserved in a way it is prepared and served In Situ. We folded this respect for origin into an act of placemaking, dual gestures focused on conjuring the optimum conditions for restaging the works of these celebrated chefs. Our concept for In Situ turns on the notion of a signature recipe from anywhere in the world being inclined toward the local situation of San Francisco, so that the restaurant comes to a crossroads, a place of convergence, cultural exchange in an increasingly global gastronomical landscape. With an eye to map making, we adopted the Mercator projection of the world demonstrated into international time zones. But slightly disturbed by an axial tilt, a dislocation that hints at a shift from a recipe's origins to its new situation at In Situ. This tilt plays out, in the design element. We did also for the restaurant, for instance, the table setting, including porcelain plates, and in various media and materials, from logo to menu, tableware, apparel, environmental signage, library, ephemera, website, etc. The subtle palette of blues and grays conjures the oceans that connect ingredients. The axial tilt informs the way the menu is organized and folded, but also the shape of in situ signature sharing plate. If the dining table functions as a tableau for the in situ narrative, the layered waitstaff apparel sets the story in motion. This narrative is enriched and expanded by the library, part reading room, part bookshop, where cookbooks are by invited chefs line the shelves, and the shelves echo the axial tilt. In lieu of signage on the street, we devised the shelving to include a sliver of illumination beckoning passerbys from the street through the restaurant's glazed facade. Exception. Challenge your own rules. At certain moments during the design process, it's important to step back and have a fresh look. Allow intuition to supersede your own rules.
We have some time for questions. Thank you so much, Andrea, for the great lecture. Yeah, does anybody have questions?
Crossroads where you step back and you question yourself and see what you're doing. You can't be afraid of changing your mind or making an exception, taking it off the grid. So it's basically our studio is very much kind of like you saw that our work is very informed by kind of a very contemporary, like clean and minimal aesthetic, and that obviously you can only get this to work when you're rigorous about following the logic. But then there are moments where you have to free yourself from that, and I mean I think it's hard to like give you like an example in a sense.